Welcome to Boss Up Goddess. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and every night I go live to interview women who share their wisdom to help us all live bigger, better, and bolder. Here on Boss Up Goddess, I am interviewing an amazing woman tonight. She has written more than 50 books, and she's creator of the Motown Writers Network, which is going on 21 years in existence to help our writing community here in Metro Detroit. I want you to meet Sylvia Hubbard. Welcome, Sylvia.
Hello, good evening. How's everybody? Thank you for joining us tonight.
Well, Sylvia, it is so appropriate to have you here on Boss Up Goddess because you truly are a literary boss and you are truly a goddess with words and the commitment that you have to the writing community to help us all enrich our skills and repertoire. So
Yeah.
thank you for all the amazing contributions you make. You're a best-selling author and you're an award-winning author, and the category is romantic suspense, correct?
Yes, love it.
Excellent, excellent. So, also, Sylvia is going to be one of the authors on the Black Voices series at the Detroit Writing Room, the romance authors who will be talking about the craft and all the passion and excitement that goes into the writing and all the beautiful storytelling that they share with the world. So, I'm so excited that you're here tonight, Sylvia.
Thank you for having me. I
You're
always
welcome.
enjoy this. It's like it's weird how, it's I feel more comfortable talking on camera to people about my craft than standing up in front of other people talking about it. So it's like, oh, I can do that. Where's the camera? Come on, let's go.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I've seen you in front of crowds, and you're amazing when you do your conferences and
Aw.
things.
Nobody knows, like, my whole bottom is just dropping out at that point. And I just want to throw up. But everybody's like, great
Oh.
job. I'd be like, you just don't know.
Well, Sylvia, my mind is blown that you have written 50 plus books. Can you talk
Yeah.
about how you got started and what is your mission as a romantic suspense writer?
Well, how I got started writing, or how did I get started just publishing the books? Because it's like, that's two different stories.
Oh, okay. Let's start with the writing. Like, how did you get started writing? Like, were you always a romance reader or?
So, according to my mom, and she actually corrected me at a workshop because someone had asked that question, and it was her first workshop she had attended of mine. And she was like, no, that's not how you started writing. Because I was going in about how I was 12 and I saw this, Fabio book in the library. And she was like,
Fabio.
no, that's not when you started writing. And according to her, she said, when I was like 6 or 7, I still just completely keep lying to her over and over and over again about just crazy stuff. So what she did was, I would, have to tell her, I would tell her a lie, and then I would get a butt whooping. Then she would make me go back and write it down, and then I'd have to come and read the lie off to her again. And then
What?
I'd get another butt whooping.
Oh my goodness.
I learned two things. One is that uh, lying is best done on paper than verbally, less
Oh,
painful. And then on top of that, the essence of storytelling and human nature when it comes to lying is almost the same. It's the depth of the lie that makes the better story, but it's also the depth of the lie that hurts the soul.
ooh, whoa. That
Right.
is deep.
So usually humans are not hurt by the lie. It's how much you had to put into that lie that hurts. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
oh my goodness. So that makes for excellent storytelling, of course.
definitely. Thanks,
And
mom. Yeah, so
wow.
yeah, my pain, became my pleasure. And I would just, she said, according to her, I would write all the time, just sit in closets with light, flashlights, or late at night, just writing everywhere she turned. If I wasn't doing chores, she knew I was somewhere writing. So yeah, that's what
Wow.
she said. So she would always keep notebooks and pencils around. And yeah, and then I was like 12. That's when I saw the Fabio
Uh-huh.
cover in the library, and
Uh-huh.
I knew I stole that book because the library wouldn't let me have it. So I stole it and I took it home and I read that book and I said, I want to do that to readers. I am going to do that to readers. So that's
Wow.
why I started writing romance. And then the suspense element just came because this, from living in Detroit, it was kind of like I'm reading these romance books. I was reading almost like two a day, literally,
Mm-hmm.
because a neighbor actually had, those Harlequin subscriptions where they send
Yes.
you six in a box.
Yeah.
She had like a three walls of them
Oh
in
my
her house. And
goodness.
I would just go in there and borrow the books. Like
Oh.
I was eating them up like crack. But like living in Detroit and reading these stories, you see it's like living in you know, two different lives, because okay, that how can this be happening? But I'm seeing this is real stuff in Detroit. Like,
Uh-huh.
how are they falling in love? Who's like going to a job? Who taking care of the dog? I just want to know.
So wait, what are you saying that the stories that you were reading were not
Yeah, the
consistent
happily
with
ever
the world
afters were
you were
not,
seeing?
yeah, with the world I was seeing. So,
Mhm.
I wanted to be part of that journey. I wanted to show you can get that HEA in Detroit.
Wait, HEA?
That happily ever after. I wanted to get that happily ever after in Detroit, like, but a real Detroit, not like a made up fairy kind of thing. So I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do, is like I'm going to write this three-dimensional kind of romance. And then the book ended up where I was killing people, of course, because it's Detroit.
Oh my,
Like, come on.
oh my
It
goodness.
wouldn't be real if it wasn't nobody dying.
Oh my goodness, Sylvia.
So that's how I found out I was a suspense writer.
Oh,
Because they
okay.
were like, yeah, that doesn't happen in just regular romances. I was like, what? Okay.
Okay, so another thing that distinguishes you is that back when you first started writing romance, I mean, reading romance, the Fabio novels were mostly written by white women with
Right.
white characters, correct?
Right. And then
So,
I had skipped school. I was in I was college, but I had decided not to go to school that day. And that's when the Novi Women's Expo first opened, and I was broke. And I had enough to kind of get the bus there and get the bus back. And I was walking around because it was you could go on this free day where you didn't have to pay. And I went there and I walked around the corner and I saw Beverly Jenkins just standing there around her books.
oh,
It was the first time that I had ever seen a Black writer,
oh
like
my God, that makes me
ever. And it was
cry.
like angels were like, ah, like it's just like this glow of light all around her. And it had been early, they had just opened up, so it wasn't anybody there. She sat with me almost like 2 hours, just telling me about, going through the writing process and how she got published. And I
Oh,
mean, it was just amazing. Like she made it like you can do it. You got a story, get no matter what, you don't work hard to get it published. And it was just, that was beautiful. Like for her to tell me that, like it just got me on my journey. Like I am going to see my name on the cover of a book. And even though it took me 10 years later, still I was determined. I said I will see my name on a cover of a book. So
wow. Okay, you can tell I'm a mess right now. That is such a beautiful
it
story.
was and then it was so funny because like and I think I had published myself, and then I started Motown Writers, and then people started recognizing who Motown Writers was. And I was going out in the community doing these talks and blah blah blah. So it was maybe about 2003, and I saw she was doing a talk at Wayne County Eastern Campus, and I went there And she had started the talk, and she was, I was just going to come and sneak in the back and, sit down. As soon as I walked in, she was like, Sylvia Hubbard, oh my God, you're my hero. And I was like, you're my
Oh
hero. And
my,
we
what?
were like standing there gushing
Oh,
over each other. Like it was so,
oh,
oh my God, she just stopped what she was doing and just recognized me. And it was just
oh,
the best feeling ever.
oh,
Like,
that's
oh my
amazing.
God, like you recognize, like you don't
Oh,
you did for me. And she was like, you
oh,
give us so much information. Everybody talks about you. I had to find out who you were. And I was like, this girl is amazing. I was like, you're amazing.
oh my goodness. Okay, okay. So Beverly is going to be on this panel on March 1st
Yeah.
at
So
the
we just
Detroit
love each
Writing Room.
other.
Yes, and if oh my goodness, she is like the queen. And you know what? I
I
looked
know.
up the New York Times listed her among the 13 books you should read in February, and I was sitting
Right.
there reading, and I'm
I
like,
was so proud of
yay!
her.
I
Yes, I love
know.
her wins. I love that like she fought through all the, everything that we have to go through. Like she just forged a way for us as romance writers to
Hmm.
be in the spotlight, to sit at the table, to
Hmm.
be recognized. So I mean, just to know like she started me on my journey of making that putting that seed in me to want to publish my book, because a lot of us will say, yeah, I'm a writer, and publishing is okay and whatever, but to really have a seed always growing and rejuvenating and saying, I am publishing a book, I am publishing a book, I am publishing a book. um that's a plant that's hard to maintain, but I mean, once it gets down and the roots get in your soul, it's your drive to see another book done, another book published, another book done, another book published. So I'm glad she gave me
Hmm.
that seed to get that going. So yeah.
And guess what? Now, over these many years, Sylvia, you have probably served as that same example to other writers. Is that true?
True. Yeah. It's like I would say Motown Writers, being the founder, we have published thousands, helped authors publish thousands of books. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's really crazy, because when people say, well, how many have you affected? And then it's like, I would say, yeah, thousands, several thousands of authors have, you know, have come to either a second Saturday or attended one of my self-publishing workshops, or especially when the ebook craze was going on. I mean, I couldn't tell you like how many just attended that workshop and then went out and published books. So it's funny how I've been in the forefront of, that self-publishing industry, and was able to get into that niche and help authors like say, hey, you don't need a middleman. You can do it yourself. And even though I had to learn, like in 2000, when I decided to publish a book, it was kind of, I would say, butt backwards, because I don't want to cuss during live. But it was butt backwards, where
Hmm.
I had to like, okay, wait a minute, how do you do this? And I got into the vanity press kind of thing and learned the lessons. And then the next time I published, I was like, okay, now I know how to get rid of the middleman and do it myself. And so then in 2003, I was publishing by myself. But during those 3 years, I'm learning about marketing. I'm learning about publishing. I'm learning about writing better, because I always tell people it's 10% to write the book, it's 10% to publish the book, but it is 80% to market that book.
Right.
And if you don't have that game plan going, then it's not really going to happen for your book, no matter what. It's kind of like, okay, you're putting so much work in making this child beautiful, making it smart, but if it does not know how to get out in the world and be able to be seen by other people, then this child is never going to grow.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's how I always look at books. It's like, okay, I'm doing this, and you're going to make sure people are going to see this. So yeah, like, and then I just kept going after 2003, and I realized, hey, I can e-publish and then publish, e-publish and then publish. It was a factory.
Oh, wow. And you said you've written 1 year, you had 8 books coming out?
Yeah, 8 books coming out 2011. Like I was just pumping it, girl. And what's terrible is that usually when I'm depressed about something, I write more. I write more romance.
Oh, oh,
So I
wow.
was going through a lot. I was, as a single mom, I don't think even in my real job I was maybe doing close to, I'd say we were still below poverty level at that point, $25,000 a year. But just trying to do that with them, and then saying, okay, I need to put more work into my publishing business and making money, and then pushing that money to savings. Just that's basically what I was doing. My royalties went to savings, and then we were living off of this. So my kids knew the reality of this is the money that's coming into this house. But you do so much, as especially as a single parent, and and when it's still not enough, and then you don't want to really pull from your savings, because you never know when that crap hits the fan moment happens. So you're like, oh, I gotta not touch that money, I gotta keep going on and see where this goes. So, but yeah,
But
we were basically almost living off of my book money.
that's amazing that you could do that. But Sylvia, you said your house burned down.
Yeah, so in
Down.
2013, we had a house fire during the time that I was unemployed. I had got laid off. We were unemployed, and the government was shutting down. Remember, the government shut down like almost 3 to 5 times during that time. And I don't know if people know, when the government shuts down, you don't get benefits. Everything stops. So you don't get unemployment benefits, you don't get food benefits, you don't get anything during those shutdown times. And they would be shut down for, a good 20 to 30 days at a time. So you had to make do
Oh my goodness. How did you
with
eat?
what you had. You just, like, I had always been a homesteader, so usually I'm always trying to, especially with 3 kids, you usually have to, fix the problem before it happens. So I had
Oh,
I
good
had a
advice.
method of plan, pray, and parent. So I plan for everything to go wrong, and then I pray that God would get us out. I prayed in expectancy that we would be getting out of that situation. And then I parent not only the kids, but I ran my house like I ran my business, and I kept my business to myself. But most importantly, I parent myself, where a lot of times we don't do, where we give each other rewards and punishments for things that we need to get our butt up and do. So that was the most important thing, is parenting myself, which encompasses the whole plan, pray, parent method. It's just get it done and stop crying about it. And then when it's all over, you can cry. So
Wow.
basically, like, when the fire happened, like I said, I only had like maybe 68 cents in my bank account. And
68 cents?
68 cents, because I remember checking I had a PayPal bank account, and I remember checking it 30 minutes before the fire, and I was like, okay, I know I got royalties coming in 2 weeks, so we should be okay. I got this bill paid. I probably have to, I remember my thoughts before the fire, 30 minutes, and then I went in the kitchen to cook. And then after that, it was just like, yeah, 8 minutes of my life, just the whole house just went up in flames. We lost everything in 8 minutes. The whole house burned to the ground.
So
It was
Sylvia,
exactly
thankfully,
8 minutes.
and you were just standing there outside?
Yeah, outside in the middle of winter. It was a February, just like this. Low degree temperature. We were outside. We didn't even have our shoes on. Just standing in the snow, watching our house burn down. Um, I had just happened to have my purse, and my son dug in my purse, and he had forethought to go and move the car, because the car was right beside the house. He dug in my purse and went to move the car. Um, and then, like, we just stood there, like it was nothing you could do. Everything was gone. Like, I mean, there was no way you could run in the house and get something. 8 minutes. There's When it's an 8 minute fire on a 2-story house, there's nothing left. It's ashes. So we uh we kind of just made our way. We stayed in the car for a couple of months. Well, yeah, it was about a couple of weeks we stayed in the car. And then
Wait,
we
you and your 3 kids stayed in the car?
Yeah, because that was during the time of the shutdown. So all the homeless shelters were full, and the ones that we did go to, because my son was like 15 and looked like a grown man, they wanted to put him on the men's side by himself. So I couldn't have that. And then people were offering me houses and stuff really like the next day after the fire woke up. I went to check my bank account again that morning because we were walking out the house and my son was like, you know how you like things happen and you're like, okay, I got to do this. You wake up with a plan in mind. I got to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. And, I got to worry about this and stuff. And I was like, everybody get their shoes on, coats on, let's get out of here. Cause we had been borrowing stuff and everything. So we are trying to walk out the door and my son kept saying, ma, 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 ma. So we walking out the door and he said, Sylvia. And you know how I whip my head about like, look, boy, we will go, I will Tyson you right now if you don't go put some shoes on. And he was like, Ma, I don't have no shoes. And that was the point where you realize, you do so much as a mother. You try to, do everything and you can't provide one thing for your child. Like that one little tiny thing. I was about to have a nervous breakdown, girl. I was like, I can't do this no more. I can't. I'm done. I I can't. I'm literally done. So instead of having a nervous breakdown in front of my son, I did what any normal person would do, and I looked down at my phone. And the last thing was open was, my bank account. And I opened it up, refreshed the screen, and there was over $2,000 in the account. And people over the night found out that I had lost my house in the fire, and they said if Sylvia has done anything for you, just give her a couple of dollars. So
Oh, that's so
yeah,
beautiful.
my cousin came over and gave me some more money, and it was just people just reached out. All the things that I had helped people out
Oh,
with, they came back and paid it forward. So that plan, pray, and expectancy that God is going to work it out. I'm a testament to that, because if I
mm,
had not followed my methods of plan, pray, parent, just keep going until like something's going to happen. Just work in expectancy, just know that it's going to work out. That it did. And that's how I've always done it in business. I work until good things start to happen. So I tell people, just write your books. Don't worry about, hey, if Oprah's going to call you or if you're going to, get to the big screen or anything. Have that done. Have that drive to want to finish your book, your story, and leave that legacy. And then other things will come to complement it. So,
mm,
yeah, I know.
beautiful.
So, yeah, we squatted in the house for a while. And then we got with Habitat for Humanity, got a house built for us.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
it was so amazing. So like it was just the best feeling of sitting on a toilet seat that you're the first person on it. Like, oh, this is
So you
nice.
really
Like,
have in your
ooh.
life, you have a happily ever after story, Sylvia, because then you met the man
Yeah.
of your dreams and you got married.
Yeah.
Your kids
Yeah.
are
So
successful.
yeah. So it was like, yeah, then once I had my house and my car, I thought I was untouchable. And usually I was at that point in my life when I met him that I was ready to get a cat. I was like, ooh, give me a calico or Maine or something. And then he dropped into my DMs, and
Oh.
like we became really good friends. And then like, yeah, it's like, wow, I'm your wife. That's nice. So
Oh my goodness. How long have you been
yeah.
married?
I've been married for 2 years, but we've
Oh,
known each other for 7. So
okay. That's amazing. So,
yeah.
does your experience of meeting your husband enhance your writing process with romantic suspense?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It kind of, since I guess that's why I call it, like on my website, I call it the literary world of Sylvia Hubbard, is because all these stories are somehow linked or they're companion books to each other. So these stories are still going on in my head, whereas, in real life it's weird because it's funny because now that I'm married, it's the real life and the fantasy are fun because they kind of almost intermix. Like I'm happy, you know,
Hmm.
and in the fantasy, in the books itself, I'm taking a character to happiness. So yeah, it's
Oh.
kind of like you see it a little bit more clearly, like how she should be feeling, and you can
Mm.
describe it a lot more because you know how that happiness now feels.
Uh-huh.
So
I love it. What a
hey,
beautiful story. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you, Sylvia.
thank
So happy
you.
for you personally and professionally.
Thank you.
Love it.
Yeah, you work hard for it. Then it's not like you really, like I said, you just work in expectancy. He came into my life at, even though we say like when we do find somebody in our lives and it's like, oh, I wish I had met you earlier. Um, I don't think I would have we would have been who we are today for each other if we had met earlier in
Right.
our lives. We
Mm-hmm.
met at that perfect time that
Mm.
we needed a yin to our yang, and
Mm.
it just worked out from there.
That's
So I
beautiful.
appreciate, like, you know that the way my life was planned, because now I can enjoy him and all my kids are like gone.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I'm done being, I'm like a part-time, I'm like a guardian. I tell my kids, I want to be the last of kin, don't, I'm the last one you
Blessed.
call. Here's an 800 number. Don't be
Ah.
thinking you might get a pickup. So it's like, yeah, now I can just concentrate on me. I've groomed my kids, I've raised my kids to live without me, to be independent. So it makes sense. Like now I get to enjoy me, I get to enjoy my best friend,
Mm.
and I really get to, and I'm still in the prime of my life. The
Mhm.
50 is the new 30 now. So it's like,
Yes.
hey, look at me. Like, can't touch me.
That's
So it's
right.
kind of
That's right.
cool. So
So that's amazing. So what book are you promoting right now?
so right now I have Black's Innocence, and here she is. So this is basically about Lauren, who has planned her entire life out. She has decided she's going to have the perfect life, the perfect husband, and be the perfect wife. So she saves herself for marriage, and she's like 32, and she has saved. She's gone and spent thousands, hundreds and thousands of dollars, taking out loans, used all her savings to get a house, two car, and decides to marry this lawyer. Um, and even saved herself for marriage. She's a virgin. Like, I mean, she wants the perfect life to start off with. Unfortunately, Tyler Black, who is the best friend to her husband, decides there's other plans because he wants to destroy his best friend for destroying his marriage. So Lauren's plans go to the side as Tyler just like eviscerates everything she had planned for herself, which just goes to show you when
Ooh.
you make plans, God laughs.
Wow.
But
That's
yeah,
like,
this is just her story of how you you make you plan for what you need, not what you want. And
mm,
sometimes you have to wait for, life to give you what you really, really desire and really need in your life. So it
mhm.
was just fun uh, destroying her.
Ah! Wow.
It was fun destroying her, and then just bringing it back around to show that, hey, just work for what you really need in life, and then everything else comes at you. You build that perfect sundae, that cherry on top will make it perfect, but it just makes it, but you can have it with or without the cherry. So
Mm.
sometimes you just don't need the cherry, sometimes you do.
Right.
But yeah, it was just a really good book to write, especially in that time of my life when I published this a year ago, because I saw a lot of friends who were setting themselves up for failure, not knowing what they really needed in happiness. So I
Mm.
kind of wanted to shout out, like, stop making plans for a husband that's not even there, and start making plans for you, because you know them women, girl. You know it. You know them women that be doing the, oh, I'm praying for my husband to be. I hope he have a good day. What, girl? Did you pray for yourself?
Right. Oh,
They got a marriage basket, got their dowry all together. What? Girl,
really?
you can't even pay your phone bill. You better go use that money.
I've never heard of any of that, Sylvia.
Oh my
People are
God,
doing that?
girl. It is
What?
hilarious. It is hilarious. And then that's during that time, especially last year, it's the time when, it was going into the internet dating and being acceptable, especially in the Black community. But they're going out on these dates for husbands, not, just dating. It was like a drive. It was a mission to, okay, this is the one. And it was sad. It was really sad. So that's where Lauren came in.
Good. Oh my goodness. I like what you said. Have you loved on yourself today?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
That's so much
So,
more important. Self-love is everything. And then you attract. Then you
right.
get to the point where you just want a cat, and then the man of your dreams walks in, right?
I know. I know.
Because you're so content with yourself.
You are. Yeah, I was. I was really, I told him too. And then he asked me to meet him. I remember the night he asked me to meet him. Girl, I was trying to figure out if I want to put on a bra or not. I was like, ooh, girl, I just took it off too. Ooh, Jesus. That I must really like you if I put back on a bra.
Oh, that's so funny. I love your happily ever after story on every level. So, Sylvia, do you have any advice you'd like to give to writers out there who are thinking about writing romance?
Uh, I would say don't worry about what others have written. Write what makes you happy. Put yourself in that story. Don't worry if somebody comes and says it's a Cinderella story or something, but no one can tell that story but you. Just know that. Know that you will bring something different to the table, and trust in yourself and your soul that it's going to come out on paper. So
Hmm.
stop worrying and just write.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, Sylvia, thank
Yeah.
you so much for sharing the humor and the heartache and all the tips and everything you shared is so inspiring. I
Thank
admire you so
you.
much and thank you for all the contributions that you've made to our Metro Detroit writing community for sure. And
Definitely. I'll keep be making more. So we're always going on. So,
yes, and I hope
Google me.
where can people find you, Sylvia?
Oh, they can go to my website at sylviahubbard.com, and they can check out motownwriters.com as well and find out updates about when we meet and everything. I'm all my books are available on Amazon,
Mhm.
wherever books are sold. And of course, if you want to find me on social media, my social media handle is Sylvia Hubbard, the number one, Sylvia Hubbard one, all over. So basically, I think I've captured every social media around
Okay. Okay.
and drip to everything. So you can connect with me on there, and I'm always open to questions, and I can give you answers at any time.
Beautiful. I'll put all the links to everything you just said in the description box so people can get in
Thanks.
touch with you. So thank
Thank
you again,
you.
Sylvia.
Oh, thank you for having me, and thank you for having this platform for everyone to be spotlighted and showcased. It's really awesome.
Oh, it's my honor and pleasure. Thank you, Sylvia. And if you'd like to meet Sylvia, virtually, of course, on the panel on March 1st through the Detroit Writing Room, you can go to the detroitwritingroom.com and sign up to attend the Black Voices series featuring romance authors. And it will be Sylvia Hubbard and four other authors, including Beverly Jenkins. And I'm interviewing all of the authors here on the channel. So it's going to be an amazing evening talking about both the craft and the business of writing. And we're also going to be talking about Black romance writers in a traditionally white field because,
Definitely.
yeah, yeah, because the diversity and inclusion in the romance writing field, which is a $1 billion industry, is a very, very important topic to explore.
Hmm.
So please
Definitely.
join us for that powerful conversation that we're going to have together. And I want to thank Stephanie Steinberg, founder of the Detroit Writing Room, for hosting this
Love
event
her.
because me too. Shout out to Stephanie. It's going to be a really powerful, inspiring, and insightful evening. So please do join us. And thank you for joining me here on Boss Up Goddess, because you got to meet a boss, a goddess, Sylvia Hubbard.
Oh,
She's an
thank
amazing author of more than 50 books. She's creator of the Motown Writers Network, and she's an all-around dynamic, amazing person who shared her story, the heartache, the happiness, and I'm just thrilled for you. So I will
thanks.
see you again on Monday, March 1st, 7 o'clock, Detroit Writing Room. Please, all of you, join us. And in the meantime, please subscribe to the channel, like, share, and comment. Love to hear any questions you might have for Sylvia or for me. And remember, boss up, goddess. You have the power. I'll see you next time.